Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today is February the 17th, 2023, and it's 10 o'clock p.m. I have my two favorite cohorts with me tonight, TeresaLouise of TeresaLouise I Quilt Too, and Shady Susan of Sewing Sensations by Susan Shade. I've also got Tucker Nace of Tucker Sewing and Quilting. On the back end, he's in the chat tonight versus being live with us. His life's going to be quite hectic over the next few months. So as we continue to work all of these FPP projects, he'll be popping in and out or into the live as time allows for him. So I'm going to slip into the chat real quick and give everybody a hello. And then I'm going to turn the reins over to my husband and we're going to get this party started. Let me see. Delia, hello, sweetheart, and welcome. Mona did what? Hello, Delia is running the chat. Tucker, hello, Donna, and everyone. Can't wait to get this project started. Absolute. Let me see. Quoting Queen, hello, Shelly. TeresaLouise is talking. Sheila just got my pattern today. Fabulous. Take your pattern out, grab a piece of paper because you're going to be taking notes tonight and you're going to be thankful you did. Melina, hi. And let me see. She's telling everybody hello. Sheila's telling everybody hello. Mona did what is talking. Julie, oh my gosh, Julie girl, we miss you, baby. She's been snowed in under about 4 feet of snow and can't get to her she shed. So she's been dearly missed by us. She is one of our little chicks that we sew with on a regular basis. Carissa, hello. And Janine, if I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry. Becca over on her end of the house, when she ends tonight, she's going to be doing a drop over to our channel. And for that, I'm thankful and blessed that she's helping us grow that way as well and sharing the love. Janine, hello, friends. And hi, Donna, Susan, Teresa, Julie, and Shelley. Hi, Carissa. That was so sweet of you. Making sure. Okay. So I'm going to get my mouth rolling. Take your notes. This is going to be a little fast paced. If I get to going too fast, say something in the chat. The girls, I've asked them to watch the chat and they'll verbalize to me as I'm walking you through the project, the way that we're going to roll this one out. So I'm going to shut off my mouse and move it out of the way. That way we can focus on this pattern tonight. Tonight's pattern is the Tiger Abstraction quilt. I'm just going to flip it right over and give you the back end real quick. And we're just going to have a look, see at that. On the back, this quilt's going to measure 60 by 75. We've asked everybody weeks ago to go ahead and order it, but you can always jump in or order even after we have started. So there's never a problem. The videos will always be up as we're moving the project along. What I highly recommend each and every time that we do one of these projects is once you pick your colors, there is a location where I put my fabric. It's going to tell you whether it's the eyes, whether it's the ears, the nose, the mouth, wherever. It's going to be on the location portion of your pattern. Then your color, it's just going to give it a name. Now, however you choose to lay out your fabric selection, whether it's with a pin and you just label it like banana pepper or wabasi or pickle, you know, whatever you want to call that piece. But when you're writing out your pattern and you're writing on it, I'm going to show you, you're going to cross match like you've got diamonds or hearts or cherries or let me see, a sewing machine. You're on whatever that fabric that you've chose, you're going to write the word willow. And it doesn't matter if it's the right color there because you're picking the colors that you want in that place on your pattern. There is a color sheet that's included. So it also has each of the pattern that is right here. So when you're working through the big parts of the project, you're going to be able to look for these little emblems. You're going to come over to whatever color this is supposed to be versus what you've chosen on your color chart. Then you're just, even though the colors aren't going to match, you're going to write these words. That way, when you're digging into your bag or your pull in your pin, however you're choosing to lay yours out for your organization, you're going to have it all set and ready to go. The binding in the backing, I always wait to do those at the end. You're going to need 5/8 yards of Kona peach or whatever preference you have. And your backing is almost 5 yards. I would go ahead with the 5 yards when I do it. That way I know I've got enough. It's always better to have just a smidge more than not enough. So as you can see, the pattern is going to be really detailed, and it's going to be a real fun one for us as we move this along. I went ahead and pulled out the eyes because that to me looks like that's going to honestly be the most challenging part of this. So I'm going to show you how I laid out everything, and then we're going to come back to that section right here. I highly recommend when I give you the numbers for the eyes, pull those pattern pieces out and sit those aside. And I'm asking you to please label your parts the way that I'm asking you to do. That way, each and every week, you're going to know exactly where we are and what you need to accomplish. I'm going to call it homework, but it's not. You do it at your own pace. This quilting is a journey. It's not a race. So when you first open up your kit and your pattern pack per se, it's going to tell you you're making the quilt top. And I call them flimsies. It's going to give you all the details right here. And the first thing you need to do is all the papers that's inside, you need to take them to a copy store. And you need to have the copies made. Don't let them just run them through and you're going to get a copy on each side, because that's not what you need to do. What you need to do is tell them one-sided, not two-sided. I've made that mistake myself, and several other ladies did. They just dropped them off and said, I need a copy of this. So they did two-sided versus one. So when you get your copies, one side each time, because you're going to need to be cutting this out. So this is just going to show you when we get ready and we're starting to build the project. It's going to tell you these numbers that go down this side, how we're going to join these pieces together. And we need to pay special attention or you're not going to line up. You're going to get puckers. You're going to have issues. So it's really important when you're doing any volley craft project, you join these in the order that they're telling you to do. Then as we join them, I'm going to be showing you, you're going to say you're going to sew two pieces together. When we get to that part, you're going to pull all the paper out of the middle, press that seam open. That's going to make the difference in how this is going to lay. The first quilt, no one told me about pressing that seam open. And that's something I learned along the way. I'm going to show you a lot of tips and tricks that I've learned on this project since I've been doing a lot more FPP, and I think you're going to find it's going to come in quite handy on all of your projects. So I've got it broke down in the order of the way that we're going to do this. So I've already picked out, I've already got mine copied. So I'm going to give you the weeks and how I lay mine out. And this keeps me organized so that I know how I need to work the project. So week 1, if you write these down, we're going to do piece 1 through 21. The date is going to be our kickoff date of March the 10th. When you get your pattern and you've got all of these 158 pieces cut out, then you're going to start stacking into stacks of 10. And then you're going to break them down even from the stacks of 10. You're going to look for these numbers. You're going to grab 2 packs plus 1 is the easiest way. And it's going to make more sense as you break them down. It's really important that when you're cutting your patterns out, that you're leaving a lot next to the dotted line. Right now, I hope this picks up for you that you're able to see it. You need all of this around here, because when we come in and we're doing that final trimming, you're going to trim on that dotted line. That's going to give you your 1/4 inch right here. And it's really important that you have that. When you first start, you can either label all of your colors while they're in the big sheets, or you can do them after you've cut them apart. I opted this go around to cut them apart and then sit and slowly label each color. There's a key on the code right here that I was showing you on the back that has the pictures. Let me move it over here so you'll be able to see it. On the back of your pattern, you're going to see like a spider web. You're going to see the pound sign. You're going to see a flower. You're going to see circles. You're going to see those on your printed pattern as well. Regardless of whatever colors that you pick, this color code is going to be important, and you have to use the color code. So here you're going to write, let me use the sewing machine. So this one has the sewing machine here on the pattern. So I'm going to use the word willow. Now, that's just telling me when I put my fabric over here, you're going to put your true colors that you're going to use on the right. You're going to take a wee little 1-inch piece, fold it in half, and tape it on your pattern. That's going to be your saving grace as you're working this project. So the sewing machine is willow. My background fabric, it's called seafoam. So no matter what your colors, you need to go down each piece and write those colors in. You'll thank me later for it, because as you're working it, you're not going to have to keep referring back to your keypad. You've took the time up front to write every one of these on your pattern. So this is your first section. So week 1, you're already going to have it cut out, but it's going to save you a lot of time. And what I do is I have a cup. I call it my cup of tricks. Tracy over to Sewing Channel gave me this cool cup, so I'm putting it to use. I put all my FPP little labels in it. So what I did was I have cut down some templates. Everybody asked me where I get them. Got my templates. They're just chopping little plastic templates I got over at the Dollar Tree here. Then I chopped them up. They work quite handy, and they give you that sharp edge that you need. But sometimes they get a little whack. So I went ahead and took my comic boards and cut those out as well. And so I don't lose them in my pattern, I went ahead and just put a little line around so it's easier for me to see. You're going to need your short ones and your long ones, because some of these pieces, they are all different lengths. So you'll be able to just grab a handful and move it forward. Hello, Ian, and hello, Becca. Welcome to the chat. I just saw you guys, and I greatly appreciate everyone that slipped in from Becca's tonight. So as you're moving this along, and we're getting ready to start this, but I'm going to give you a little tidbit. You're going to look for your A. And in between A, you're going to do A and B. I'm asking you to come to the table on the 10th with everything labeled, and you're going to pre-fold all these lines 1 through 21. And you're just going to sit and you're going to fold these, and you're already going to have your creases. You'll thank me later, I promise. But while you're doing it, you're going to think, this is nuts. It's going to save you time. And we're going to be able to streamline and get a lot done in one night if you have all of your prep work done. So just take a second, and your paper is going to look a little jacked up. But you need these fold lines. It's really important to have these. So when we're doing this, just give it a little finger pressing afterwards. And these fold lines are going to be your marking spots. So like I said, this is week 1. So I'll put all that back together for now. And when we get together, I'll have some of these parts done, not all, but I'll be able to show you, and I'll work from the back forward because we're going to be starting from the front. That way I'll have some work to show you how I had to fold it or whatever the case may be. So I always put, when I'm doing a Violet Craft pattern, I put Post-it notes. Everybody calls me the Post-it note queen. And for that, I guess I am, but it keeps me in check. So this is week 1, and these will hang up on my design board right behind me. Week 2 is going to be March the 17th, and we're going to work 22 through 45. So make sure you write those down. It's also going to be in the description box. And each week, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question before you go forward?
Yep.
So what you're saying is on your pattern pieces for week 1, write in the fabric color into the
Right on the pattern.
Right on the pattern. So like here is number 10, and it has little B's, you know, B, the letter B. So
number 10.
for B, I would, let's see, let me find letter B.
Here, let me pull this out. That way I've got it. If I hold it, I don't know if you can see the writing on it.
Okay, B is background.
Yeah,
So
your B would be background.
Write background in.
No, you would write the word seafoam.
Oh, right. Okay, that's what I meant. So
Yeah.
you want me, so you would do that on each one of these, so you know what color you're going
Yep.
for? That
Yes,
what you're-
ma'am. Yep.
Okay.
That's why you do it. Like B is going to be your background. So everywhere on this pattern, all these parts, you're going to write seafoam on all the B's.
And you think that's easier than looking at your sheet every time?
Yep. It saves you time in the long run, because until you get into the pattern and you're looking, as you're folding it, you're going to have to keep your keypad next to you. And then you're going to have to go to the next color. And then you're going to have to come here and see flower. Then you're going to have to come over here and write Ferndale or whatever it is.
Right. Okay.
So this is just more time saving.
Okay. All right. I understand that. Okay. Then pre-fold each one.
I would.
Where the lines are. Okay.
Yep. It'll save you time when we're working it, because that's where a lot of the time you're focused on trying to stay caught up or wherever we're at in the projects. So if you have them pre-folded, and I would honestly do like 5 or 10 pieces out of that set, because the odds of us getting through all 21 is going to be pretty slim.
Yeah.
In a 2-hour period. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I won't go longer than 2 hours.
Okay. So I see on some of these, there's a lot of lines coming together at a point.
Yep.
Do you press your seams open on those, or you just press them to the side?
You're just going to press them to the side. The way you're going to do them is, it'll be easier when we're together and actually working it. But I'm going to use this as the example. You've put your first piece here, fern, on A1. You've got your fabric attached here, faced out. Your second fabric is going to go face down and touch it. It's going to be on this line of B1 and B8, A1 and B1. Then when you trim it off, you're going to press it flat. The only time you're going to press your seams open is when we're joining the big pieces. Does that make sense?
Yes.
When we're joining them all together. But for this piece and all the ones that's in this stack, you're just going to press them to the side. You're always going to press them to the side.
Okay.
And it'll just press them flat.
Donna, couple of questions here.
Go ahead.
Sheila Fugue asks, do any of you use add a quarter to fold your paper pieces?
I use the add a quarter as well. I have them here.
Okay.
I use them to trim off. I have the small and the large. I find that this is a little thick and doesn't give me the consistency of the straight line. That's why I opt, but you can do how you feel more comfortable. This is so much thinner than what this is, and it's going to give me the flatter line.
Right, and it's great for cutting your paper top too.
Yep.
And then Eagle Eyes 51 asks, where are you getting your fabric from?
My fabric for this go around is Moda. No, I'm wrong. Kona. Because I needed to have this fabric match as close to this as possible. So that's where I've gotten mine.
Okay.
And you can get your fabric anywhere you want for these projects. You can get them from Hobby Lobby, Walmart. You don't have to go high dollar. You can pick from your stash. And it doesn't have to look like this. As you can tell from the elephant project that we did and the lion project, everybody puts their own colors in. Everybody does their own unique take on what they want to see. So,
Okay, and then those long cardboard things you had a second ago, or
these,
those are like to help you fold?
yep, these
Okay,
come in handy and they're cut straight because I use the ruler and they lay flat. It's kind of like a Christmas card, a birthday card, that consistency.
okay,
It's thinner. I can use the add a quarter ruler, but I'm not getting it as flat as I would like.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Some
Yeah,
of
I'm
the
glad I
new
learned
add a quarter
about that.
rulers has the thin edge now to use. Mine has the thin edge, Linda. Mine has the bubbled edge for my 1/4 inch. And it has this. I find for myself, this template works better. You do what you want to do. But that's the way I'm doing mine. And I recommend using the flattest thing you can. It's going to give you the most consistent line that you need.
Yeah, this is thin, but this worked much better.
Right. The thinner, the better.
Yeah.
Okay. I left off on week 2. We've already done, right? Okay. Week 3 is going to be March 24th. And we're going to be doing parts 46 through 55. And this one here, I would honestly say as well, go ahead and just come to the table with them pre-folded. This is going to be a light week. So if you're still working over on week 2, bring that and we're just going to work on week 3. I'm sorry about the coughing, guys. March the 31st, I'm not going to do a live. I'm going to give you a week off to do catch up on week 1, 2, and 3. And we need that break week so everybody can come up to wherever we're at in the pattern time. But I will be available should anyone need extra help or anything. All you have to do is send me a message. And if I'm not available, I'll get with Tucker, I'll get with TeresaLouise, I'll get with Susan, because we're the ones working this project, and say, okay, I'm out of town or whatever the case may be. Can one of you guys pick this up? And they would. So week 4, it's a heavy week. We're starting back into the heavy week straight out of the gate. So if you're already caught up and you're already on board, I would recommend that you go ahead and start week 4 on that off week, because it's going to start getting thick again with your papers. Week 4 is 56 through 93. There is a lot of small pieces and it's intricate. So as you build these, when we're on the live, if we have time, we're going to start joining those together. That seems to be where everybody's having their issues. Like I was showing you here, following the keypad seems to be where people are struggling. So you're going to join piece 1 and piece 2, and piece 2 to piece 3, and then piece 4 and 5. So 4 and 5 have to come together first. So all these are going to line up. And then you're going to have to go to 9, 10. And everybody's going to be, why am I going to do 9, 10 when I can just do this? We need to follow the keypad. That's what the design is for. If we jump all over and do our own thing, you're going to be calling me or messaging me my seams aren't lining up. So it just makes good sense. Susie Gabbard, who else is making the tiger in the chat? I need to play catch up. Susie, you can watch the replay and catch up, sweetheart, and welcome to the chat. So just
We actually haven't started it, Susie. It starts on March 10th, right?
yeah, this is just the breakdown of how I'm going to run this project this go around.
So you have plenty of time.
Absolute. I'm given plenty of time. The main thing right now is get your pattern. If you need it, I'll drop it in the description box, as well as Susan can drop my link in the chat, or Dahlia, because they both got my link. Get them copied. You're going to pay $24 for the pattern. You're going to pay $10 or $12 at a copy store to get the copies made. You'll bring them home. You'll cut them all out. You'll have 158 pieces to get cut out. You'll put them in stacks of, 155. You'll put them in stacks of 10, and then you're going to do the breakdown from the 10 into your groups of the weeks. So that's pretty much where we're at. Week 4 is 56,393, and that's going to be April the 7th. Then we're going to move on to week 5. Week 5 is a heavy week. And I'm talking, it's got a lot of pieces, and this is where we're going to be starting to really join sections. Week 5 is 94 through 125. It's going to be April the 14th. And they're big sections. It doesn't look like they're big, but they're long pieces. Then week 6, that's a big stack. And we are going to push this out instead of 6 weeks. It's going to go 7 or 8, but I've got it labeled at week 6 because that's the way we've numbered it on the pattern. This one's going to be 126 through 155, and that's April the 21st. Then we're going to come back on week 7, which is going to be April the 28th. And we're going to see where everybody is. Those that are ready, we're going to start joining the 6 sections together. We're going to do it together. And like when we get section 1, 2, 3, and 4, when we get that far, I'm probably going to say, okay, let's join these sections and I'll show you how to do it. But you're going to have to listen to me because we're going to have to put 46 and 56 together, then add 22 to 45, join that, and then we're going to slip over to 1 through 21 and make the box. That's the way we're going to be doing that. And we're going to have to make sure everything is cohesive, everything is lining up. Ooh. So the goal is to wrap this project up by April the 28th, but I've allowed 2 extra weeks on the back end. If we're not up to where we need to be, it's okay. We'll just push it out because I've allowed all the way up till, I believe, let me look here, May the 1st. I want to go ahead and start talking about the next project. But we're not going to kick off the next project of the giraffe until this one is totally completed. Give everybody a 2 or 3 week break and then come back and start the next project. So I hope that helps everybody see how we laid that out. And there's a reason that we're working it in the order that we are. Now I'm going to flip back over to the keypad and I'm going to show you how I set out my colors. I highly recommend, and I mean highly recommend, that you, if you're not a starcher, you do try starch. It's going to become your friend with this because it's going to make your fabrics lay so much nicer. And I'm going to point out a couple things here as we go along, because if you're pulling from your stash, like banana pepper, I'm going to use this as the example. It says you need 1/8 of a yard. You don't need a 5-inch square. So you're going to see inconsistencies. So I'm going to point them out along the way as we're working this. So banana pepper, I've already used my banana pepper. I'm not going to need it again. My wabashi, I've already used it because I'm going to show you what I did. You're not going to need a 5-inch square for that either, but it has you get 1/8 of a yard. And pickle, it's the same, 1/8 of a yard. Honestly, for pickle, I would say 10 inches of fabric. So if you're pulling from your stash, if not, you have to buy the 1/8 if you're at a store. I don't think they go any lower where I'm at anyway. I just ordered the tiger from the link. Says it'll arrive February 24th to March 1st. Awesome. You'll have time to get it done. And Susie, it'll be fun to work with you.
Mhm.
So these, since I've already used them and I know I'm not going to need them, I'm going to set these aside. That way they're not tying up my workspace. So the next color is your white. You can pull the white. Everybody has white or white on white, whatever you want to use from your stash. And here on the keypad, it's telling you how much you need. It says a 1/2 yard. Every pattern that I've done by Violet Craft has not required the amount that she's calling for. There's always extra. I normally tell everybody to go 1/4 of a yard up, but since I've been working her patterns more, if you're consistent with your cutting and you're not worried about the waist, you can get by with her measurements exactly. So the next color is snow. I'm going to face these down, but I label everything with a little note that tells me what that color is for this keypad, because as you can see, your snow and your white, there's very little difference. So let me put these face down because I like to keep everything in order. Then my shell, it's a little bit of a pinky. And I used all the shell I'm going to need already. So this one's also going to get pulled out. So I don't have to fool with moving it around. And you're going to see how I used it already. Khaki. We all have khaki in our stash. It's just a light tan if you're going with that. Then my next color, it's called cedar. I couldn't get that burnt orange. It was out of stock and I needed to get my fabric. So I went with, it's like a burnt orange and it's got a little specks through it. It looks like the orange was on fire. So that's the color that I'm using. I've cut mine down into 1/2 yard cuts. So it's going to be easier for me to just pull and use, but I've got them pressed, they're starched, and they're in little stacks. That'll make it easier for me as I'm working this. Let me show you how I did it. I cut all of mine down into little 1/2 yard stacks and set them aside. By the time I work this, I'm gonna remember this is cedar, this is fern, and then this is my sea foam. So they're already cut down for everything that I need. And I just cut them down into 1/2 yard. That way it's easier to work with. And trust me on the cedar, I really believe you're going to use it all. Roasted pecan, you're not going to use a whole lot of that. They had you get the 1/8 of a yard. So we're going to see, is everyone doing a traditional tiger colors? I am at the purple wall. And let me see, the black, it has you order 1.5 yards. I'm not sure. So I went ahead and ordered the 1.5 yards of it. You can put these in Ziploc bags. That way, as you're cutting and you're getting scraps, you can drop your scraps right back into that bag, or you can get a little Ziploc bag, the small ones, and drop your scraps in. Because as we're making it, you're going to see you don't need to cut a large piece off. Pull from that scrap bag, give it a quick press, and you'll be able to use that piece. So there's not a lot of waste. Your Ferndale, it asks for us to get 1 yard. We're probably going to use every bit of that 1 yard on these leaves. Fern is 1 1/4 yards. Willow is 1 3/4. So you're probably not going to use all of that because when you're looking at the leaves in the pattern, it's just the way it looks. I don't think we're going to use it. and then 4 yards of the sea foam. I can see us probably using at least 3.5. But that's a quick estimate from just looking at all the parts and how it's going to play out. But I would say order your 4. So we've got those. Let me move these aside and I'll put my fabric back. But the key when you're doing FPP is you got to stay organized to some room. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. So now I'm going to show you this. Let me get this out of the way.
Okay, there's a question, Donna.
Okay.
Are there other colorways for this pattern?
You can do it however you want. There's no set way. Whatever you do on this pattern, you do it and put your own spin on it. You can do, I know other channels have done this. They've done the lion, they've done the elephant. You put your own spin on it, whatever colors that you would prefer to use. You don't have to do it in this, but on the back, you do have to put your colors in the spots where you're going to want them. And you're going to have to match like the word cedar, the word roasted pecan, or when you're writing on your patterns, if you don't have that wrote down, you're really going to jack your pattern up. We had one in the elephant. She didn't do what we recommended week 1. She had to go back and get it all pre-printed because she didn't see the importance of writing on them. She was guessing what it should be. So she wasted a week. So it's just better to write it in. That way you're not going to get messed up. I like the unicorn. I'm thinking of the wolf. The wolf is going to be amazing too. It's better for us Canadians to get to buy pattern only. You can buy the pattern only from the link that Susan dropped in the description box and they can ship it to you and then you can get your fabric in Canada. Or you can pull from your stash.
Yeah, I don't know that these even come in kits, do they, Donna?
Did she say kits? I thought she said pattern only.
Yeah, she said pattern only, but I think that's how they come, isn't it? Just pattern only.
Yes.
Etsy, I've seen them over on Etsy where people have bought up the patterns and made kits,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
but they're not they're not done by Violet, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, Violet Craft, to my knowledge, and I could be wrong, has not kitted them up unless it's at a event. Like I know the lion was a kit and they could buy the lion as a kit. The elephant was sold as a kit, but I don't know if they shipped out of the country, if that makes sense. So I would rather, I saw them on Etsy and I was advised that they were not done by her. They were done by little mom and pop shops and posted for sale. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And ran off as Violet Crafts. So I don't know. I'm just going with what I've been told. So here's the 2 pieces that I told you you really needed to watch for and pull those out first. So look for parts that say 66 and 83. When you're loading up your patterns and you're packing them out, pull these 2 pieces out.
Did you say 66?
66 and 83. Pull those 2 pieces out. When I looked at the pattern, honest to goodness, hardest part of your pattern is going to be these 2 pieces. There's a lot of little lines, a lot of little turns. So this is your eyes. So it's just a lot of manipulation, a lot of fold, turn, fold, turn. Once you get just pull these out. If you're not comfortable when we get started, sit these aside.
Yeah.
And then come back to them. That way, you know, you're not going to mess your eyes up. If you want, challenge yourself, do the eyes first. That way, the hardest part's done. So it's whatever you want to do with yours. And I have these upside down. They're supposed to be like this, but they'll sit in at an angle like this. And I opted to do like I did for my elephant. I put a little star piece in. You can fussy cut. You can do these however you want. And then that's the little sparkle in the eye as this is built out.
Donna,
Yep.
Sheila Frug says that her lion was a kit. I don't know where she said where she got
I
it
don't know where
from.
she got it. I'm not saying that
Yeah,
they don't come in kits. I'm saying I've not seen them other
Right.
than on Etsy. That way I'm sure I'm saying it right.
right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I saw where she said the lion was a kit, but I
Yeah.
know I saw the lion, the elephant, the tiger over on Etsy, but I've not saw it on any other place, but I don't go looking either.
Right.
So I would rather say, I don't know.
Oh, she said Amazon.
Very
Or
well
she-
could. Go ahead and
Yeah.
drop the link for him. I don't know. I'd
Well,
rather
there's
say, I don't know.
a lot of different people that sell things on Amazon. So
Right. But now that this right here, as you can see, your color pickle, your banana, this is the only time you're going to use it in the whole pattern. So that's why I'm okay to go ahead and pull these out. And the shell color, this is my shell color. So I won't need that again. So these are just going to go right now, Wabasi, shell, banana, and pickle. These 4 colors will not be used again now that I've got the eyes done.
Oh, okay.
So it's easier as I went down through the pattern. These are just going to get put in a Ziploc bag and set aside. And that way, when I'm working it, that's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 different colors I'm not going to need again. But I'm keeping the burnt orange because I will be using it throughout the pattern, if that makes sense. But this just lightens you up so you won't be pulling and, oh, I need that or whatever. So what I do is I write on a bag. Once I'm done a fabric and I know I'm not going to need it anymore, I don't want to get rid of it because accidents happen. I could spill a cup of coffee on this and have to remake it. I just set it aside.
Good idea.
And that way it's going to be out of my way. And I set it in my second shelf of my cart. It's out of my way. These are done. So I'm going to put a little clip on them and these are going to sit. I'm not going to put them back with their sections. They're just going to hang on my design wall by that little hook. And then when I get to those numbers, because I put a Post-it note in my pattern sections that these were eyes and I pulled them, they're just going to hang up on my design wall until we get to the eye section.
Right.
And I won't have to worry about them getting all jacked up. So a lot of talking, and I'm sorry if I confused everybody, but I was trying to break it down as easy as possible. So as you can see, this is the why we broke it down. Let me see if I can turn this, that you'll be able to see. You can see a little bit here before it gets distorted. We're going to be working week 1 right out of the gate over here. There is a tiger kit on Volacraft's website. Yay, Patty G, that's awesome. I guess they're doing them. So here we have section 1. When we get it done, that evening, we're going to start piecing those pieces together so I can show you how we're going to do it. But you have to follow your keypad, your keys that's over here that's going to tell you the order that you need to put them in. Each week, we're going to do that. If we get behind over here, it's okay. You still come over for week 2 and just let me know in the chat you're still over here, and then I'll slow down over here so we can all get kind of catch up and stay together. I don't want to let anybody behind. That's why we're doing the off week, and then we may extend 2 weeks because this has a lot of intricate pieces. But with my schedule, I have to have a timeline. So we'll do this, then we're going to do this, and then we're going to come down to 3 and 4, and then we're going to stop and we're going to put this section together. When we build these big sections here, that's where you're going to press your seams open on the big sections. And I'll remind you that when we get there. Then we'll work this one and then we'll join it here. And then we'll work this one and join it here. And then the last week, we'll have a paper ripping party. And then everybody will press them out, post your pictures. And if you have questions along the way, don't ever feel like you can't ask because we're here to help you. And it's just going to be fun. Tucker will be bouncing in and out periodically. He is now with a part-time, full-time job, and he'll be traveling quite a bit as the season of life for him moves on with this new adventure. And he's still going to be running his YouTube channel. He's still going to be running his long arm service. And now he's going to be on the road traveling. In 2 weeks, he'll be in Tennessee for a couple weeks for his job. And that's going to take him out of the equation. So he's taking the next 2 weeks now to spend some extra time with grandma. She's going to be traveling with him. So they're plotting their route and they're driving. So that makes it even funner. When you can get in a car and grandma drive you cross country, that's going to be fun. So does anyone have any questions? Did I confuse you, Susan or TeresaLouise, or did I break
No.
it down?
No,
No,
good.
you did great.
Okay.
Thank you.
I plot everything out. Patty, I hope you're sewing it along with us. And if you'd like, ask questions or give us your input. I greatly appreciate it. I miss seeing you. And I'm going to get my mouse and go up through the chat, make sure I haven't missed anything.
It's $188 for the kit
Well, that's good.
over
Yeah,
on
that-
Violet Crafts.
Yeah,
That's
if you
not bad.
no, if you want to buy the kit, go for it.
Right.
I hadn't seen them. And when I asked about it through via email, I was advised that no.
Hmm.
So someone responding to emails didn't respond correctly. That's why I said I'm not going to say one way or the other. You can
Right.
pull from your stash in your favorite fabric store. Absolutely. Jaquil, are there other colorways for this pattern? You can do whatever you want. I don't know what colors I'm using yet. You'll figure it out. And I have a Handmade by Ying Let's share page on my Facebook channel. And if you would like, my mouse disappeared. If you'd like, feel free to share all your progress along the way. I'd love to see it. That's how we all grow and we all learn. You'll see my channel migrating more towards the FPP. I'm really enjoying this. And to me, it's calming and fun. And my lines are so straight. And I'm just loving the way everything turns out. Now I'm in my sewing room, finishing up my postcards to mail out on Monday. Dorlyn, I hope all is well with you, sweetheart. Let me see here, Kathy.
Just so y'all know, I'm pulling batiks.
I was going to ask you, did you pull any yet? So we can get
Yeah,
a
I
sneak peek?
started pulling them over here, and I'm going to audition my fabric for this project.
Ooh, go grab it. Let me see some of it.
Oh, well, all right.
Kathy says the tiger looks complicated. I need to start with some easy triangles and squares and a full pot of morning coffee. Thanks for the great tips. Well, Kathy, please come back and watch. If it's going to be intricate, but it's going to be fun. And I'm going to show you more tips along the way about how to line up, how to fold, get a crease. You're going to match things. It's going to be fun. It's going to be slower than normal for me going through. So I'm going to turn it over to TeresaLouise. I'm going to pin her so that we can all see what she's showing. So let me see.
Okay.
There you go.
And this is just starting out. I haven't, made a final decision, but this is will be my background. And it's kind of like a grunge. It's yellow, tan, and creamy colors.
That is cute.
So I think that'll work. But then I found this really cool looking batik. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a lot of leaves and swirlies in it. And I might try to incorporate this somewhere in the background and with the leaves somewhere.
That'll be cool.
So that's kind of a possibility. And then I'm just picking a bunch of oranges.
I like that.
So here's like a little polka dot. And so I'm going to have to be more, I think, I I'm going to have to be more organized, I think. Like if I use this on one side, then I need to use it on the other side.
Yep,
You know,
that's where your coloring chart's gonna come in handy.
yeah. So I might have like a couple of different colors for each one color, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yep,
So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. And then here's another really bright orange.
oh, that's gonna
And
be cute.
yeah, so that's some of the stuff I picked, and I just started going through some different greens. Like this one's really pretty. It's got green and purpley blue colors on it.
I think that is gonna be stinking beautiful.
So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to go through the boutiques and try to audition. Now, I don't want to get too many. I'm thinking I don't want to get too many varieties going, especially since this is my first foundation paper piecing. You know, I don't want to get too confused. So I might try to limit myself to like, I don't know, 3 varieties of orange or, you know.
Right.
So anyway,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at on color selection.
That'll be cool because when you do your breakdown, what you're doing would fall under section 4 and 5, where you're breaking, where everything's going to line up right here,
Yeah.
3, 4, and 5.
Right.
So when you look, when you're doing your pattern on your color sheet, just look for that triangle. And it'll give you the numbers that you need to pull for which color.
Right.
And that'll make it easier. And then you can put a little note on those colors. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep. So yeah,
That is
I
going
think
to be
it'll
cool.
be a lot of fun. And I think using the boutiques might give it more depth and interest and so forth.
I think so. That would be stinking cool. I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Susan, have you thought about yours yet, babe?
No, I was busy doing the starburst that we was working on.
Joe, can you let me remove the pin?
So
Well, you have plenty of time, Susan.
Yeah, you've got plenty of time. Life's a journey, not a race.
right.
Looking good so far, Lori Clark said, Teresa.
Thank you, Lori.
Everybody's, Janine says, love the colors. Teresa, those are gorgeous. I can imagine it coming together. That's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, I was gonna go shop my stash earlier today, but I didn't get over there.
We're working on side projects. And
The
not
only thing
gonna
I
lie,
think I
like-
need to buy is probably black, because I don't know if I have enough black for the project, but that's okay. I can go to the quilt store and do that.
we'll have to
Take
force you to take one for the
You mean
team.
I have to go to the quilt store?
Oh my.
I know, isn't that dreadful when you have to
Oh.
do that?
Oh, no.
Twist your arm. So with
Yeah.
all of that being said, over the next couple of weeks, everyone, please order your pattern. If you have not, it's been dropped in the description box, as well as Susan has dropped it in the chat. If you have any questions before we begin, please ask. We are here for you, and we're going to work our way. Janine, twist your arm to go to the quilt store. Purple Wall says, poor Teresa. I know she's got to take one for the team. We've all got our own way of organizing to keep these projects together, and you do whatever works best for you. If you've already FPP before and you're in for the challenge, do this with us. We look forward to working them with you and having fun. This is going to be our Friday nights for the next 2 months. So you guys take care. God bless, and we'll see you back with a few updates along the way. You've got my email. It's Donna@handmadebying.com. Email me, talk to TeresaLouise or Susan or Tucker. We're all very approachable. Just reach out and let us know you've got a question. If we're live on something else, just reach out in our chat and say, hey, question on the tiger. They'll answer it. or they'll tell you to call me. So you guys take care. God bless and have a fabulous evening. Thanks for
Bye,
joining us tonight.
everyone.
Bye.
Take care. God bless.
Good night.
Toodles.
Toodles.
Toodles.